The name is Vince, and I'm in Woolwich Township, New Jersey. And the services I got, you placed an air conditioning and heating system. It gave me some very minor issues, but I knew in the back of my mind it was about 14 years old, and it was time for this thing to go. You know, so I was going to put it out of its misery before it put me through my misery. In which case, I would have been calling Horizon during the dead of summer, where it was 100 degrees out and 86% humidity, or it was going to be in the middle of winter when it was like 20 degrees out with a -5 wind chill factor. So I figured I might as well get it done now while the weather was nice. And we went through everything step by step, and he brought it down to its lowest common denominator, so even I would understand it. And that's when we pulled the trigger and made the decision. I said, bring somebody on in, and they came in within 48 hours and replaced everything. When they came in, they didn't disturb anything. Like I said, I had Bilco doors going to the basement, so they had a full access. I left them alone the whole day. I did some work on my own. And if they needed me, they would just call up the steps. I would come on down. They'd have their little booties on in the basement and whatnot. Told them they really didn't need it. And but no, if they needed to come upstairs and needed to talk to me about something, they were just quick to do that. It was only maybe 4 or 5 times they called me, and that was about a general question. Like, why do they have this here? I said, I don't know. I've been asking myself that question for 14 years. They're scratching their heads going, this makes no sense. So they really, from the original builders, they corrected some things from the original builders, which even I have no idea what I'm doing. It made sense to me what they did. They were very familiar with everything they were doing. They knew where all the parts went. They knew just how. They went over a couple of things with me about the house where they're going to put vents in and whatnot, and it all made sense. And they even had me help them, like, think you should go here, go here. I said, well, let's do some measurements. You have a tape measure on you? Yeah, sure, come on, let's try, So they actually made me feel part of the process of installing the new air conditioning and heating unit. And that really counts. They left everything perfect. I mean, they cleaned up everything. I didn't have to complain, like, oh gosh, now I got to straighten this out. They swept up everything. They vacuumed things. And when they left, it was like, you'd never know they were there, unless you saw this new heating and air conditioning system. It's a lot quieter than my old system. 14 years old, you have a 14-year-old car, it's going to make some noises. But yeah, and you have a 14-year-old air conditioning unit and heating unit, it's going to make some noises. And it takes so long and so gradual that in 14 years you don't realize the change until you get a new one there. And boom, all of a sudden, is the air conditioning on? I think so. Let's go check just to see if it's working, And everything was great. You have the guys at Horizon to call, they're not going to rip you off. You know what I mean? They'll give you a good, fair price. They gave me a fair price. And they'll come in, they'll get the job done, and you can expect a good part of the day, and don't expect them to come in and do it in like a half an hour or 45 minutes or even 2 or 3 hours. It may take them a while, but the more it's like, I'll tell you, I would rather have them spend a half a day working on my heating system and getting it right than rushing through it for a few hours saying we're done, goodbye, and everything breaks down 10 minutes later, which I'm pretty sure consumers have experienced.